Today is April 9th, 2025. I am interviewing Francis Shute, Jr. at the Butler VA Medical Center. Mr. Shute is 68 years of age and was born on April 8, 1957. My name is Chuck Jennings, the interviewer. I am being assisted by George Richardson, videographer. Mr. Shute, what branch of service were you in?
U.S. Army,
And what was the highest rank you achieved?
Master Sergeant, First Sergeant,
And where did you serve at?
all over the world.
Before we get into your military experience, let's start back at high school. Where'd you go to high school at?
Butler Senior High.
And that's in Pennsylvania here. So when you were there, did you do anything athletically, or what went on in high school for you?
Yeah, I ran track and cross country and intramural sports.
Once you got your letters and everything?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So when you came out of high school, what year was that?
1976 there is when I graduated out of high school.
And what was going on for you at that time?
Not too much. Our school board decided to cut back on some of the scholarships, so track and cross country, if you were into that, you did not get your scholarship even though that you were authorized. So I decided to go into the military.
So what brought you to the military?
Actually, in 1973, I went into the reserves here in Butler, out there on Route 68 up here in Butler, Pennsylvania. We didn't have a junior ROTC program within our high school, so in 73, I went the route of Army Reserves doing basically our ROTC. So when I graduated out of high school, I just decided to stay in and became active.
So when you went active, did you have any idea what you wanted to do? Or you just kind of went and took your test and said, fill me in, or?
No, I went into communications at first there, and then I looked at other careers there, and eventually I became into the Special Forces branch.
Okay, once you decided to do that, let's talk about your examination. I assume you went down to Pittsburgh, got your exam, and
Yes.
and from there you hooked an airplane or a bus down to Georgia, I think.
Yes.
So let's go into that. What were you thinking when you had some idea about the military, but when you started to go through your physicals and stuff like that, do you have any idea what you're going to get into?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was already prepared there through serving time there with the reserves, and I was pretty much prepared there.
Okay. So once you went down to Georgia, what camp did you go to?
I went down to Fort Gordon at the communication school there. That's still there now.
And when you say communications, there's a variety of, what kind of communications were you specifically attached to do?
At that time, they were looking there for people for field communications with teletype. And so I went into that there. That's two different courses that you have to take there. The field radio is one course, and then the teletype's another course there, but I took both of those.
So on your communication with the radio, I mean, did you have to learn dots and dashes, or it didn't matter that back then, or?
They taught us briefly on the Morse code there, but they didn't go real heavy involved because they were getting out of that there. The newer arrays that were coming in were known as SATCOMs, and they deal a lot with the satellite and stuff there, so I didn't take it at that portion. I had to come back later on and take those courses as well there.
So let's get into the physical part about it. When you first came into boot camp, we talked about your A schools there, but when you first got into your boot camp, anything particularly hard for you? It shouldn't have been with track and everything.
No, it was pretty much easy.
Yeah. So, at the conclusion of your boot camp, did you get a chance to come home at all, or?
Yes.
Okay. And what'd you come and do when you were home for that 2 weeks?
Just basically spent time with family and friends and just brought them up to date what I was doing and what I expected that I was probably going to do in the future.
Now, did you take, you took your A school down there. So, once completing A school, where were you assigned?
Frankfurt, Germany.
Okay. So once you got to Frankfurt, tell me a little bit what you saw, what you did, what was going on at that time.
It's pretty much laid back there. It reminded me of going out to York, PA, though. You know, just the German customs and everything there. And then I was there for about 3 months there, and then I ran into cousins that I have that are German descent that still live there today there. But I got to see them, and they got to see me, and so it was pretty fun there.
So how long were you in Germany?
First tour was 4 years.
So you get down to Italy, or?
Yes, Italy, clear down to, even went down to Israel, Spain, Austria, Switzerland.
Anything stands out in your mind particularly about any of the countries?
Just how friendly the people were, you know. Just in sightseeing, a lot of different types of food, which I enjoyed.
You were there for August Fest, I take it?
Oktoberfest in
Or
Germany.
Oktoberfest, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody has a good remark about that.
Yeah.
So, you came back home. You came back to home, or what'd you do?
No, I came back, duty station back to Fort Gordon to take the SATCOM training. At the same time, I got accepted to go into Special Forces there. So I finished the SATCOM first, then I went into Special Forces training.
Where was that at? Down at, I'll pick the name up.
Ours was in Georgia at Fort Stewart.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then they also trained us on our first initial field training was down at Parris Island, where the Marines usually have it there, but at that time the Army was having it there.
They have a recon school down there.
Yes.
So, tell me a little bit about your Army training with Rangers and then with the Marines.
Well, not with the Marines there. We didn't actually have training with the Rangers. It was Special Forces, a separate entity away from the Rangers. If you go into the special ops type training, you have your airborne, Rangers, and then there's the Special Forces. And Special Forces is kind of almost like a SEAL team. So we're just a little bit more involved with our training than what the SEALs or any other entity has.
Would it be safe to say you're a counterinsurgency unit?
I would say so.
Yeah. So, describe some of what went on during the training.
Well, without actually getting on the lines where we're not allowed to divulge a lot of that there. It's very physical, very much survival type training. Also, there's a very strong entity there for team cohesiveness there, but also at the same time, if your team is gone and you're the only one left, how to survive to the fullest limits there.
Void capture. So, what were you, at some point, you went down to Quantico, and what did you learn off of those guys down there? The survival end of it, or?
Nothing off them. We had our own advisors and trainers there for us that trained us. We only used the site there because it was the only one available at that time there.
Now, did you have to learn another language, or?
I have an understanding of Russian.
Okay. Hence why you're in Germany.
Yeah.
So, once you completed that, did you get shipped back to Germany again?
No, I went to the embassy there at Moscow, and I was there for 2 years.
And that entailed what?
Basically, it was just laid-back work there, but we got to listen in on some conversations back and forth and disseminate if they were pertinent there to our the safety of the military or not, or if it was just normal conversation there. Most of the time, it was just normal conversation, so we just disregarded it.
So, once you, did you get a chance to go out and about in the countryside there?
Oh yeah, yeah. The country people in Russia are totally different than the city people there. The country people are very friendly, very open. They don't care, you know, who you are or what you are. If you just come there and visit, I mean, it's fun to, you know, getting to know them. City people are a little bit more standoffish here, and that's just because of the government being so much in more control. So, but it was still fun seeing some of them and just sightseeing around.
No, did you get down to Stalingrad or any
Oh yeah.
So, what'd you think about Stalingrad and up north Russia? Come on, some of the bigger cities.
Well, the architect is what stand out to me there. As old as some of those buildings are, and they're still being used in existence there today. There, I mean, that's, I don't know, that's kind of somewhat breathtaking there to see that that's still going on.
So, once you've did your 4 years there, did you come back to the States then?
I did 2 years in Moscow, and then I came back to Germany for a year, back to the same old unit there, which was part of the 5th Corps out of Frankfurt. But I was stationed at in Stuttgart then, and I was there for a year. Then I came back to the States there and got bounced around to a number of different places, but my home base was Fort Polk, Louisiana.
So, once you got back to Louisiana, you get some time coming back home, and what went on during your brief time in the States?
Yeah, well, mainly I was in phone conversation because I was TDY, which is known as temporary duty, to a number of different locations out of Fort Polk there. And, you know, went to Hawaii, Alaska. I've been in all 50 states here, you know, on short tours and stuff there, but my home base was Fort Polk at that time there.
Can you speak to some of your assignments here in the States, or is that classified still?
They call it guarded there, so I rather not there.
Okay.
And some of that was, some of the places that we went to hot weather survival in at Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. We did our cold weather survival in Alaska. We had other training through some of the Midwest states. Fort Polk, even though that was my home base, that was also for our swamp and heavy water survival. So I got training even though that I was doing temporary duty at the same time.
Lizards and snakes. So, all in all, how long were you involved in your service, bumping around the different TDYs and here in the States? Did you get reassigned overseas again?
Yes.
So go into that a little.
That was mainly Iraq. Special Forces group that I was involved with was known as the 6th Special Forces Group. And we got tasked to do the search for weapons of mass destruction, which we found evidence that there was weapons of mass destruction, but taken out of Iraq into Syria. And that's basically all I can say about that there.
So once you track that lead down, is there any other particular interesting things when you were in Iraq that you got involved with?
Yeah, we was hooked up there to a group that's known as the Royal Shiites, which are a non-radical group. They would be parallel to, in our Christian faith, as the tribe of Levite. In the tribe of Levite, they were given the job to take the Ark of the Covenant around. Well, the Royal Shiites are the ones that are taking their Quran, and it's in a coffin type thing there, just like the Ark of the Covenant was. And they travel around with that. They're very nomadic there, but they are highly religious within their faith there. But they understand why we had to be there in Iraq. They didn't fully accept it, but they understood why we had to be there, and they accepted that there. But we didn't have any conflicts with them at all there.
So did you get into any shootouts while you were there?
Yes, and I don't like talking about that.
Okay. That's good enough. So once your tour ended there, did you come back to the States?
No, we had a short time down in Kuwait and then back into conflict. I was there on 5 different deployments to Iraq.
So all in all time, 5 deployments, that's rough. I had 1 deployment and that was enough. So how'd that work on your mind? You know, you're coming out and it's over and done with and it gets shoved back into it again. How'd you deal with that?
Me being the oldest member within our group there, the younger guys there, I know that it affected them more, so I turned my energy into helping them out. So as a help aid, it helped me to cope with that there. And then also my faith in God there is another point there to that.
So after all your tours ended, you came back to the States. How long have you been in the military by this time, roughly?
I went in 1973 according to my contract. That's with my reserve time, and I actually retired in 2009. So I had quite a number of years in.
Yeah. So when you came out, did you get married?
Yes.
When did you get married? During your deployments or?
On my last deployment there, I got married there. She lived there with my parents because she didn't understand the military life, and my dad, being prior Navy, helped her cope with all that there. And then in 2009, we basically, prior to 2009, when I came home for a short time there, we did our recommitment to our marriage. And in 2009 there is what sealed all that there for our family life.
Children?
Yes, 1 child.
Boy, girl?
Daughter lives in North Carolina as a school teacher.
So after you you have retired. Did you pick up another job on the outside after you retired?
Yes, I worked there for McGee Plastics there, down in Cranberry, Pennsylvania here. We make interior parts there for airlines and also for the transit Amtrak trains. We did all the plastic, rubber, some metal applications there.
Was it mainly infusion molding or?
Yes,
Oh, okay. So how long did you work there?
a little over 7 years.
And I take it you retired at that point?
Yes.
So during your retirement time, how much, what do you, I see you up here at the VA quite a bit, but do you do anything else for, for yourself on your retirement time?
I have two friends there that was on my Special Forces team, my last one there. One lives up at Slippery Rock and one lives in northern Mercer, and we spend a lot of time there together, visiting each other, just talking over things there.
Yeah, that's a great relief valve.
Oh, yeah.
So at this point, is there anything you could think that you might want to add to the interview that we've not covered?
Not at present. I have two grandchildren there, one who's 9 years old, a girl Ella, and then my grandson is 4 years old, Lincoln.
Oh, that's nice. Didn't know that.
Yeah,
So,
they're both there with my daughter down in North Carolina, but they're great kids.
well, at this point, I'd like to thank you for your service to this nation. Thank you.
You're welcome.